and welcome to Fools of a Took, an Australian Lord of the Rings podcast. I'm Michael.
And I'm Nick.
And this week we are doing Chapter 3, 3 is Company.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I thought that was really good use of wordplay for the chapter.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
This is normally 2's company, 3's a crowd.
Oh. I totally didn't know that. I was just like, oh, three's company. Sweet. I didn't really think much of it.
Oh, that's fair enough. As it turned out, 3 was company. And the 3 being...
Oh, God, don't look at me like that. I wasn't paying that much attention. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay. Frodo. Sam. Shit.
no.
Pippin?
Yeah, it was... Oh, man, you had me worried there for a moment.
I read it. It didn't like. I read the chapter. It didn't stick in my head though.
Okay. Well, I just read the chapter today. I started this morning and I read it on my lunch breaks and before I started work and after I finished work, and I think we're starting a little bit late, but we're gonna push through it tonight, aren't we?
Yeah. Whereas I read it like sometime on the weekend, in between like another 2 or 3 other books that I'm reading at the moment.
Yeah, you're in a bit of a bookception kind of. Well, not bookception. You're just reading a lot of books.
I'm reading a lot of books. Like I've finished 5 books in the last 2 weeks, which is more than the last 12 months combined.
Oh my god.
So like, it's not. I'm really good at starting books and getting into the middle of it, and then just losing interest.
Okay.
And so like, the fact that I've finished all these books is amazing.
Yep. All right. Well, big props to you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
As I'm just trying to get through just the one.
Just the one book.
Just the one book for me. So we're currently in another, shall we say we're in another timeline at the moment.
Sure.
At the time of recording this 4th episode,
Yep.
we have only just released our 2nd episode.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think it's just going to work better for how we manage our time, to just make sure we've got a couple of episodes in the bank so we don't fall behind time-wise. But, you know, whatever messages you want to send to us or any reactions or thoughts you have to the episode we just released or episode we released the week before we record, we can give you shout outs, we can have some nice interactions with you. But you just have to wait a couple of weeks before you hear them.
Okay. Yep. All correspondence will be handled in 21 to 28 business days.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's just
better?
that's the business. That's how the business works. That's how we're deciding it works until, I don't know, maybe until we get a staff
Yep.
that we're not going to pay.
Yes, an intern.
And then the intern's intern. It's just going to be a class of interns.
Fuck, what's his name? What from?
From Thor 2?
Dark World, yeah. Tim,
Sh-
George, John, Jerry.
Derek?
No.
No?
Dave.
Oh, that's going to annoy me now.
Yeah.
No, I was hoping it would come in that moment.
Yeah.
It's not going to come in that moment. It won't come at all. Anyway, Lord of the Rings 3, as it turns out, is company. So a quick recap of the chapter. So in preparing to leave Bag End for Rivendell, Frodo sells Bag End to the Sackville Bagginses. Mm-hmm. And he plans to leave the Shire after his 50th birthday, which is still a few months away.
Yep.
After a bit of time, a couple of months, Gandalf leaves in search of news, and he seems pretty anxious. And he does not return. Gasp face. After overhearing a strange conversation between the Gaffer and an unknown inquisitive character, Frodo, Sam, and Pippin leave Bag End on say, a rather uneventful journey, right up until we have our first interaction with the Ringwraith, or what will turn out to be the Ringwraith.
Okay.
Is who turned out to be the inquisitive character talking to the Gaffer. Well, it's what we believe to be.
Yep.
And when they're on the verge of being caught, they are saved by the singing of nearby elves, led by Gildor. They took the hobbits in their care for the night. They had a merry gathering, and
Oh my god, you stupid cat.
if you hear any pitter patters or zoomies from a cat, it's actually a kitten. Her name's Pepper. She's about 16 weeks old.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, a lot of energy. So if you hear any odd noises, you know what it is. So the elves take hobbits in their care for the night. A merry gathering. Frodo tries to get more information, while Gildor seems like does his best to warn Frodo without sort of driving him away from his quest out of fear because of the perils that he knows are ahead of him.
Okay.
That is the chapter.
See, that's the thing, like, the chapter just went on and on and on and on. So long. Oh my god. Like, it could have been just surmised into a paragraph of, it's 17 years later. Sam, Frodo, and Pippin decide they embark on their journey together after having a meal, and they get picked up by a bunch of bards. Yippee-ki-yay. That's it! But no, it just keeps going on and on and on. My god. I see why, like, this detail was cut out of the film.
Yeah. I mean, what was also cut out was the fact that he sold the house.
Didn't that happen in the movie?
No, he just leaves.
Oh.
It's just Frodo, Gandalf, and Sam.
So when they leave, in the movie...
Yeah.
Sorry, when they come back in the movie, do they actually... Is the house still in Frodo's possession?
Yeah, he just goes back and he's living there and he's hanging out.
Actually, the thing was kind of weird, like the fact that it was 17 years had passed.
Yeah,
between
Bilbo leaving and
Frodo leaving. It's a long time.
It's a long time.
Long time, and then you're just waiting and waiting and waiting to eventually leave.
Well, it would have been... Yeah, it was a few months between Gandalf rocking up saying, yeah, this is the Ring of Power. You should probably get the ring out of the Shire. I was like, okay. And he's like, you should probably leave soon.
Soon?
And it's like...
17 years is not soon.
Well, it wasn't 17 years after he told him to leave. It was 17 years between Gandalf leaving himself to make sure that it's the Ring of Power, hunting and finding Gollum, finding out what he knows, and then coming back and saying, yep, that's the ring, get out of here. So after 17 years, he tells Frodo to get out, and then Frodo after that takes a couple of months to get his act together, or he seems to procrastinate a bit.
Yeah, there really isn't like any urgency in Frodo trying to get out of the Shire.
Yeah.
And, like, yes, it times really well that, like, just before he leaves, fucking old mate Ringwraith is around the corner.
The first Screechy.
First Screechy boy is just, is poking his nose around.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just timed perfectly, and that's the thing that gives Frodo the kick up the ass to leave.
I mean, he had already planned to leave that night. They were just having their last...
That's right, yeah.
Last minute preparations.
Yep.
They had planned to leave that night, but as it turned out, it was very last minute.
Yeah, look, as a plot device or like as a storyline, I'm sorry, this chapter's kind of crap. Also, just like a pet peeve I have for this chapter. Just the sheer number of songs, or not even songs, poems that are in this chapter. Which are
2 or 3?
Something like that, right? You got these these songs with verses and everything.
Yeah.
What's the fucking melody? What's the rhythm?
be whatever you want.
No. Okay, like this goes back to another like rant that I've had previously regarding subtitles in movies.
Right.
If you're gonna subtitle something, subtitle everything. Don't do the fucking shouts in other language, like shouts in Chinese, shouts in Spanish. Actually write it out in that language.
Shouts in native language.
Yeah, exactly. Like similarly with this, Tolkien should have just assuming he was a gifted person. You know, he thought he was a great cartographer, so he probably thought he was a great musician as well. So he could have chuck a stave in the page and actually written the piece. And just so, it's a nice little Easter egg for us musos to go, ooh, that's nice. That sounds really good. Rather than reading and go, how the fuck does this song go? Is it meant to be a bop? Is it meant to be like, like a funeral song? How's it meant to go? What key is it in?
I'm not exactly sure. But I imagined it to be, I don't know, I took the melodic themes that they used in the Lord of the Rings films. And so with the Shire, they seem to have a pretty Celtic kind of Irish kind of vibe. So just like a pretty merry
bum
like,
bum 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 bum, like
a
jig.
Yeah. The poems, I mean, you could just read them as poems, even though that they're being sung by the people who in the story. That you can just take it as just the written word poem type thing. And,
Did we really need it? Did it really propel the story to have to know what the songs were? No, I don't think so.
No, but
I really didn't. I didn't feel like I learned that much more by reading the song lyrics.
Some songs can give you a bit of, context. Like when we see the songs that the elves are singing, they teach us a little bit about what elves they are. Like,
we are prissy little tots. We got sticks up our ass. Yee! What else? What other context do you need for elves?
So I didn't think we'd be diving into the poem section of and giving it so much of this
shade,
giving it this kind of attention.
I
think there will be more to come.
Fuck me. Okay. I signed up to read a book. Okay, I didn't sign up to read like poetry.
If it just said they
hummed a merry tune.
They hummed a merry tune to themselves. Hey, the lyrics might have some importance to them in the song.
This is a song about foreshadowing.
But then I liked that there were like two of the poems, or two of the songs, lyrics from those were picked up and used in the movies.
Was it?
Yeah. So the first one that Frodo sings to himself, it's the same one that Bilbo sings to himself when he leaves in the film. Ever the road goes on and on down by the door where it began. And it's the same one that Gandalf is singing in the film when he first arrives.
Okay.
And Frodo can hear it and he's like, that's Gandalf.
Yeah. Cool.
So, and then the other one is the last verse that the elves sing is the song that Pippin sings to Denethor in Return of the King.
Huh?
Home is behind, the world ahead. And then you see Faramir riding to his doom, but he doesn't die.
Nah, sorry.
It was a very emotional scene. It's one where Denethor's chewing the tomato. That's become a meme.
Huh? Okay, I clearly wasn't paying attention during that part of the movie because I got no recollection of that.
He's like, can you sing, Master Hobbit? Well, yes. Well enough for my own people. But we don't have songs for great halls and evil times. Why should your songs be unfit for my halls? Come, sing me a song. And then you sing the song.
I think I've only I don't remember that.
Oh, okay.
At all. Because I know when I first watched Lord of the Rings way back when, like in 2012 or something, I fell asleep.
Yeah, because you did a marathon.
I did a marathon at the Astor.
At the Astor, yeah.
Astor, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I watched the first film, watched the second one, but then the third one, that was the tough one. That was one I really struggled to stay awake in.
Because it was probably getting towards midnight.
Something like that.
I
Getting
don't know
late.
what time it started.
But yeah, I know I fell asleep somewhere during like the middle of the film.
Yeah, that's pretty much the middle of the film.
Yeah, so I know actually. So it makes sense that it's not as cemented in my head compared to others.
I can understand that. Alright, you can be. I mean, yeah, you can be forgiven for.
Well, better be
missing that little detail.
Yeah, so it's been about 17 years before old mate leaves the Shire, Bag End, the hole.
Yes.
Okay.
So since Bilbo left, 17 years.
Yep.
Frodo leaves.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it was interesting that Merry never, like, he's already
gone
gone ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole plan, selling the house,
Yeah.
which was just crazy to me, selling it to the Sackville Bagginses,
Yeah.
to Labedia, because her husband is dead now.
Yep.
Was wild in itself, but then creating this kind of plan to just say, I'm not going on this crazy adventure like that old Bilbo Baggins. I'm just going to live with distant relatives, like with my good friend Mary in Buckland, and I'm just gonna do that. And so he's just tricking everyone in the Shire, thinking, he's just
As
gone
if
off
you
to do
sell
that.
to the Sackville Bagginses.
Of all people. I mean, I guess they must have been, next in line.
I don't know, like if there was anyone to sell it to or like to give it to, it would be the gaffer.
Surely.
The gaffer looks after the place anyway, knows it inside and out. Let's just give it to him.
They'll totally give it to him.
And that'll be the biggest fuck you to the Sackville Bagginses.
Oh, it really would be, wouldn't it? I mean, yeah, surely you'd want to give them just like one last little middle finger and just say, yeah, you're never getting this now.
Yeah, exactly. Because it seems like they had a long feud.
Oh, yeah, years. I mean, Labedia and, I've forgotten her husband's name now, but they were expecting the house, 77 years prior to that.
Yeah, something like that.
When Bilbo, had disappeared for a year and he was presumed dead. It was like 77 years. It was like, yes, the house is mine. And then, no, it's not.
It's not them for being so presumptuous.
You're going to have to wait until I'm actually dead. I was like, oh, okay. 77 years go by. And then eventually the adopted child of Bilbo gets it, and then he eventually decides to sell it to you. Mysteriously decides to sell it to you.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't really vibe with the characterization of Pippin in this chapter.
Yeah, I guess it gives you an idea of how young he is. Or how much younger than
How much younger?
Frodo.
Like, he just seems like he didn't really want to do this journey. He's just like complaining or whatever.
Yeah, It just seems like that.
He's a bit spoiled.
The little kid in
Yeah.
the back seat. And it's like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
And he kind of need I'm thinking of Pippin in the context of the movie where he's balanced out by Merry.
Yeah, he kind of needs his Mary.
Yeah.
They've always been seen as a pairing.
Yeah.
Can't have one without the other. But yeah, this whole first chapter of seeing Pippin,
Yep.
he doesn't have Mary alongside him, and
He's just a little shit.
yeah, just really young and a bit naive as well. And yeah, he just isn't seeing the bigger picture. Although I guess in this story, Pippin doesn't know, the importance of the journey.
He's just tagging along for the sake of it.
Yeah, he's like, Frodo's my friend, but I gotta help him move house, and it's miles and miles away. It's gonna be like a 2-day journey. I guess I'll go. All right, yep, I'll do it for you, Frodo, because I'm your friend.
Oy.
So yeah.
Oh, that is a big favor to do for someone.
That's a really big one. It's ages away, like a multiple day journey to help someone move house.
Yeah.
I mean, we've helped each other move house a couple of times, including into the one we're in now.
Yeah, true, but no, that only took us what?
Those journeys.
A day. Took us a day of moving shit.
Yep. 2 max.
2 days, yeah.
Yep. Imagine like just a 2-day journey to get there.
Ugh, I wouldn't want to do anything.
And then, like, luckily, I think Mary took a huge cart with him to the house ahead of time, to the new house. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, Pip and Frodo and Sam just have
The backpacks with them,
yeah, all the personal items that they could carry on their person.
Yeah.
Man, imagine if you had to do like multiple journeys.
Nah, fuck that. Not worth it.
It's like, I would just go to Buckland, make a holiday of it, spend a few days there. It's like, yeah, Frodo, if you want more of your stuff, you're going to have to go back. Get it. I'll keep the house warm for you.
How far is the journey that they have to go on?
I believe it was, I think it's 2 days.
That doesn't really mean anything. What's in distance?
2
days. So it's 2 days journey.
2 days of walking.
2 days of walking. The average person walks at what? 8 k's an hour?
Sure. Yeah.
Say about 8 k's an hour. Say what? So sunrise to sundown. So 12 hours. 96 k's. We'll call it 90.
Yeah.
90 k's.
But hobbits are smaller.
Oh, okay.
And they do enjoy a feed. So they'd probably stop for a couple of, your breakfast, your second breakfast,
Okay, so they're covering maybe, 50 k's a day, we'll say.
Yeah, let's say 50.
So it's about a 100-kilometer journey.
Yep. Give or take, yeah.
Like, what, here to Geelong, Sunbury?
Yeah, probably here to Sunbury.
Okay. Interesting.
Sunbury's where I grew up, by the way. Birthplace of the Ashes. That's our claim to fame.
Oh, right. Anything else?
That's pretty much it. Anytime Sunbury's in the news is usually not that amazing. But that was all.
Anyway.
Anywho. But now I guess with that information, you could try and triangulate a position on where we live now. They could find us.
True.
If there's any stalker listeners out there.
Somewhere between Sunbury and Geelong.
That's 50 k's away.
Yep. True.
50-ish.
50-ish. Okay, so what actually happens here then? Like, they do all that. They go on the journey.
Yep. I mean, I got notes that are much more specific than that.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. And then, what was his face? With the hood. Shrieky boy, yeah.
The Shrieky boy, the Ringwraith.
Yeah, Ringwraith. Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess it was in the films, an iconic scene. Like, if you want to do if some other YouTube video introduces the Fellowship of the Ring, they might do that scene where they're hiding under the tree, the hobbits, after finding mushrooms, and then they hear, and they do get off the road.
That's
quick!
Right, yeah, and then out pops a cat.
Yes, Nick, it was a cat. It was a cat all along. Get off the road.
Oh, have you seen that meme?
Meow.
Have you seen that meme where they photoshopped out the Ringwraith and replaced it with a cat?
No, I haven't seen that.
That's the thing.
But a cat that gets off the black horse?
No, it's just a cat just stalking, matching it frame for frame.
And they still do the whole scene of just them hiding underneath it.
Like fucking scared shitless.
And the cat's like sniffing
them
out. Oh, I gotta see that. You gotta send me a link to that.
We'll post it up on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll post it up.
Out of context spoilers.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, so is it the same Ringwraith that that's in the Shire and is following them?
We believe it could be, but they are also aware that it could be multiple black riders.
Yeah, okay. So they have like admitted that there is a possibility it is
Yeah,
multiple.
I'll say either 2 have passed us today, or one person has passed us twice. We don't know because they encounter one the second time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't count the one who's questioning the gaffer,
Yep.
they have 2 encounters, and one was a little bit later when they're hiding, when they're traveling, 20 yards from the track. But then they hear the hooves clip clopping, and they're on the verge of being found out because Frodo just wants to get a bit closer to double check who it is, and then he's feeling the temptation. He's his first real temptation.
This is the first time we actually see him or you hear about him getting really tempted to chuck the ring on.
Yeah, to get the ring on, and I can't imagine what that sensation must be like for a just indescribable feeling of, if I just put this ring on, I'm just going to be saved.
Yeah,
I'm going to be kept hidden from this dark thing that's I think is going to capture me and do all sorts of bad things. If I just put this on, it's not going to happen. I'm going to be fine.
Well, it almost seemed like
regardless of what Gandalf told me.
Yeah, well, it seemed like he went into a dissociative state.
Yeah.
He sort of just zone out and just going with his most primal urges.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is, stick his finger in the ring. That's...
Yeah, to use it, to put the ring on his finger, and it's just that thought that that's going to make everything better.
Yeah, as though that's his source of comfort.
Yeah. I think they conveyed that really well in the film.
Yes.
Do you recall any of those moments in the film?
Does my yes allude to that in any way?
Oh, it didn't.
Nope.
Okay.
What happened?
Yeah, it's just kind of like the soundtrack, there's a sound effect of just this pulsing high bass thing, and you can just hear the shadowy, the faint voice of Sauron speaking in black speech.
Okay, so you just hear black speech.
And Frodo starts kind of zoning out, his eyes start rolling back a little bit, and
honestly, I'm picturing Radagast from the Hobbit. Yeah, from the Hobbit, doing his his trance thing, trying to save the hedgehog.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it would be something like that. But of course, he's not talking at the time.
I don't know. I'm more familiar with Hobbit than Lord of the Rings.
You really are. Yeah, remembered many more details. I mean, you've only seen Lord of the Rings twice, but yeah. How many times have you seen The Hobbit?
Many
more.
Many more times.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll try and refer to that as often as possible, for your sake. So yeah. When Radagast gets Cure the Hedgehog, and he's just sort of losing control of his body, and his eyes start rolling back of his head. Not necessarily trying to talk,
Yep.
but his hands are doing what they need to do.
Yep.
Just like Frodo's hands are just instinctively just reaching for the ring.
Yep. Okay.
But then before he gets to put it on, the Ringwraith is distracted and by something and moves along, and then he just feels that sense of relief again. It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, well, he's sort of just I imagine he'd just snap back to reality and just go, huh?
Yeah, and he just peers his head out onto the road and just watches the rider ride away.
Yeah,
it's like, whoa, what just happened there?
Yeah, when the riders were first described in this chapter, I thought it was going to be a subversion into this was going to be an introduction to Aragorn.
Okay. Thought he would have come in at that time.
I don't know. It
would have been nice if he did.
Yeah,
you could just see it happening.
Yeah, I just thought that would be the kind of pacing that would work really well. But
instead, you got elves.
Instead, we got fucking elves, fucking hippies. Legit, this is
say hippies.
Hippie bards. They are hippie bards.
Yeah, I was trying to decide if they were being just overly nice or if they were being kind of snobby.
Nice in a snobby way, I guess.
Yeah, it was a weird mix of both.
Yeah, they're not like homey in a way. They're not like going, oh yeah, just come, come pull up a chair and take a sip of this, have a good time.
Yeah,
It was just like, oh, I guess if we must
Like,
accommodate these hobbits.
we do not normally deal with hobbits. They are dull. That's actually a quote. They said they're dull. Like,
Yeah.
You just tell the hobbits that to their face, kind of thing. It was like, cheers. I mean, no. What?
Try saying that to someone. Actually, like, we don't normally deal with people like you. We find you dull.
Say that to people in hospitality. I dare you.
Yes. Yeah, like it's getting this like weird elitist vibe from Glinda.
Gildor.
Thank you, Gildor. I don't know, like I was getting this weird vibe from them, and they were just like, no, like they're too pompous to be hippies, but too hippie to be upper class.
Yeah, it was a weird mix of both, but
Yep.
they are among the high elves, so
Yeah.
pretty much like top of the line, kind of in terms of descendants of pretty important elves.
Okay, so they're blue bloods.
Yeah,
Okay, so what are they doing on traveling then?
they're on their way back, so they're currently
Back where?
exiles.
Yeah, but
To leave Middle Earth, to sail beyond the White Towers and
Oh.
leave Middle Earth. They're on their way there.
Oh, so like they're towards the end of their life, and they're like going to like go to the magical place where they live forever, but they're actually offing themselves.
We don't know. The Undying Lands.
That's the one. Yeah.
So yeah, at this stage they're exiled because they are still remaining. They're still in Middle Earth when so many other elves before them have already left.
Okay.
So I was like, no, we want to stay and, I don't know, do some more other things, help the other peoples of Middle Earth, or just, I don't know, stay here because we like it. So when their higher-ups left, I was like, all right, if you're not coming with us, then you're pretty much exiled from the group until you rejoin. So that's the kind of like state they're in at the moment. It's like they're descendants of really important people, but they're like, they've been, I don't know,
Cut off.
yeah, momentarily shunned.
Okay, I'm picturing like a rich kid, like like not having access to the family trust fund, and so off they go and do their nomadic thing, singing songs to people, knowing that they're highborn, but they're actually dressed like shit.
Yeah, they probably look. Yeah, they look amazing to just about everyone else. Sam, oh my god, he was losing his shit.
Oh yeah, true.
He was off in a trance.
Yeah, he was having a good time.
He said the book said he was walking along, walking with the elves along to where they were resting. He's half nervous and half like gobsmacked in astonishment. It's just like, I'm so scared and amazed at the same time.
He's probably there like.
I'm just imagining Sam doing that.
Yeah.
Like Sean Astin.
Yes, Sean Astin doing that.
He was doing
and just like walking and just like slowly creeping up and just watching him and just like tapping Pippin like look at that, it's an elf. Just like a giant toddler. He's trying not to draw attention to himself.
But instead, it's just like in the film, you'd see. "Oh, did you hear that, Rivendell? We're going to see the elves." And that's kind of like the only sense of excitement they get from Sam. I like when they're already in Rivendell, and it's like, "Oh, I'm already packed." And it's like, "I thought you wanted to see the elves, Sam." He's like, "I do, more than anything, I did. It's just that." And then he's just like, "But I thought we'd be ready to go now." It's like, dude,
Yeah,
In the
nah.
book, you are so much more excited
I,
than
I,
that.
I like our characterization of Sam.
At,
more
at
than
this
the movie.
stage.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it makes you feel for him more. I mean,
Yeah.
in the films, Sam is already regarded as kind of the goat of the movie,
Yep.
of the series.
Yep.
Without Sam, Frodo doesn't make it.
Absolutely.
So already he's in pretty high regard in Lord of the Rings characters.
True, but perhaps maybe we're looking at it from from the perspective of people that have consumed recent media, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like right now, if you think of like a lot of our superhero movies nowadays, in like the last like 5 to 10 years,
Yeah.
a lot of them are kind of obsessed with portraying the heroes as like flawed individuals.
Yeah, like even the superhumans are
Yeah.
still human.
Yeah, like even Thor is terrified of people cutting his hair, that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I thought
basically-
you were gonna go down the like darker road of like he failed the universe because he didn't kill Thanos, and then
Oh yeah, I was thinking like Thor like in Ragnarok.
yeah,
Like we just see him as like almost human like. So perhaps like we're expecting Sam to be portrayed in this kind of way. Whereas going back to when the Lord of the Rings films were made, what, early 2000s?
yeah, kind of like yeah. I think they started filming in '99.
That was but that was like right in the time where filmmakers were creating characters that were distinctly heroes or distinctly villains.
Yeah,
The heroes were perfect.
and you had your clean cut sidekick
Yep.
character if there was one.
That's the thing. You had your heroes that were just like standing on the pedestal, fucking amazing, can't do a single thing wrong. Like rainbows shoot out of their ass.
Yep.
Yep. And then your comic relief, the sidekicks, they're the ones that they're the bumbling fools, Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
And there's no crossover in that Venn diagram back then. Whereas
No,
I reckon
there really
if Lord of the
wasn't.
Rings was remade now, you probably see a few more like comedic elements of Frodo and Sam.
Yeah, you probably would. Actually, like, yeah, thinking back through the whole, I guess the whole movie's, like, Frodo's, I don't know, you don't laugh at Frodo that much.
No, he's broody McBroodface all the way through.
You have said that before.
Yeah, like honestly, that dude.
Well, so far in the book, I'd say Frodo has had more moments to, I don't know, I guess like smile at or giggle at or just do that blow air out your nose laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's even then, but there's still no personality, and I'm not really getting a sense of that.
No, not yet.
Yeah. So I really like to think that like Sam is just this really overly animated kind of sidekick,
Yeah.
like a Josh Gad kind of operator.
Oh, yeah. It'd be, if Lord of the Rings was a musical,
No, just
Lord of the
Rings was recast.
Just have Josh Gad play
Yeah.
him. It'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
It would be fantastic.
Yeah, Olaf the goat.
Yeah, because in the books, like, we know Sam is incredibly loyal to Frodo, or loyal to the Bagginses in general. Like, will protect the word of Bilbo. Yeah, everyone says, "Oh, he's a queer bloke." That is, and then Sam's like, "Oh, I believe him.
Well,
Like,
so-
I believe his stories. I love his stories."
if someone pays you enough, you'll believe anything.
Yeah, because he's the gardener. Or the apprentice gardener.
The apprentice
gaff
gardener,
is the
like-
gardener.
In the words of Winston Zeddemore from Ghostbusters, if there's a stable paycheck, I'll believe anything.
If it's as long as it's stable. But through working with him, Sam also had, I don't know, access to being able to get to know them and truly learning of their character, and hopefully Sam being able to decide for himself what he thinks of it, and if he thinks it's worth defending, when the Bagginses aren't around.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
So I still think the fact that he still wants to defend their name,
Definitely more wholesome than my outlook.
yeah. We'll see how much more often that happens
Yep.
over the coming weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah, I'm still very much in love with the amount of care that Sam has, or the amount of care that I believe Sam has.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of it, but yeah, we'll see what happens over the next few chapters.
You see hints of it.
Yep.
But were those hints that you see, you get that really strong feeling. And I guess I don't know, maybe my opinion of Sam from the films might be slightly influencing me there. But yeah, I'll still keep an open mind, see if I'm proven wrong. Oh, but one detail I remember, it was when they were just about to leave, and Sam's he's like kind of like disappeared for a little bit, but Frodo's just ducked his head in the door. He's like ready to go. He's like, Sam, time. He's like, yep, I'll be right out. And turns out he's just like chugging the last of the keg of beer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I thought that was hilarious. So that's
A little bit tipsy on this journey.
yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, just get on the piss before you head on a 2-day walking journey.
Yeah.
Like, come on, legs, take me home. I'm turning my head off. Just down this keg of ale before I leave.
Yeah, I do like the idea of them like draining the keg before Lobelia takes over the house.
Yeah. Oh, and the last of the wine as well.
Yeah.
Like the night before on Frodo's birthday, it was just the four of them. Like Merry, Pippin, Sam, and Frodo. I think it was just the four of them.
Was it the four of them?
Maybe he's two other random friends that we never hear from
Oh, that's
again.
right. Yeah, the two randoms.
Fatty Bulger and someone. No, I can't remember.
Yeah. But I do remember like a section like a section of the chapter where they're just drinking wine because they didn't want to give it to the Sackville Bagginses.
Yeah. And so this was not part of the deal.
Yeah.
So we're going to drink it.
How wild would that be when you buy a house and you get given the wine cellar as part of the settlement?
Oh man, that's a lot of value.
Yeah.
If you got a bunch of like few decades old wine, man, that'd be pretty pricey. But nope, you get drunk all in the weekend before you got the keys.
Yep. Yeah, was there anything else for this chapter? I can't really think of anything else that's like of note in this chapter.
There's one line, and I think it's the most savagely British line. I think I've seen it come up in a couple of memes, like on Facebook or wherever. But as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's funny. It's when Labidi is coming to get the keys, and I don't know, just being a little bit, yes, finally, it's all mine. And Frodo's saying, it's like, all right, make sure you give the spare key to the gaffer. You know, the book mentions her being a little bit, I don't know, maybe they'll steal something from me. And then the line just reads, Frodo did not offer her any tea.
Oh, yeah.
And that was all the line said.
It's like the greatest insult a British person could ever give.
Oh, just Frodo did not offer her any tea.
And she probably was just like, he didn't offer me tea.
Right?
What a dick.
Frodo, glad he's gone now. He didn't even offer me tea.
Yeah.
After all this time.
I didn't even notice that.
I've been nothing but nice to that boy.
Yeah, bullshit.
But yeah, I mean, how old's this book? Like 70, 80 years old now?
Yep.
Some of these lines are gold.
I do wonder, is that actually a subtle way of offending someone? Like,
That's so subtle.
like, do British people actually use that method?
So passive.
Like, someone's coming to the house and they go, okay, cool. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Like,
But no, don't offer him tea.
what about the tea? If we have any British listeners, whether you live in the UK or if you're traveling by and you just pick up word of this Melburnian duo talking Lord of the Rings.
Let us know.
But if that's seriously customary to just offer your guests a cup of tea, I mean, it sounds so second nature.
Mm.
I can imagine it being second nature. I was like, how you doing? Oh, welcome in. Got a cup of tea. It would probably happen here more often than not.
Actually, I did encounter this once, like recently. I was going past a friend's house around. It was like around breakfast time.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I was like, okay, cool. I'll toodle pip. I'm gonna head off.
Right.
And she's like, oh, do you want to stay for breakfast? I'm like, oh, you asked. I'm hungry. I guess I won't say no. And so I go, eating breakfast, and it didn't actually click into my head until like towards the end, until like 20 minutes later, were giving me the look, like the effectively like kicking me in the shin, saying, "Get the fuck out of here." That I realized, maybe you're just saying, "Would you like to come in for food?" because she feels inclined to do so.
Just being polite.
Being polite, yeah. And so I never actually clicked in my head that like it might be a thing that people do around meal times, like especially if someone appears at the door. You go, oh, there's food. Oh, I should probably invite them in.
Right.
Because for me, I would just go, if I want someone to come in for food, I'll say, hey, do you want to come in for food? If I don't want you to come in for food, I'm not going to invite you in.
Yeah, you were very well aware of your situation and what you can and can't accommodate for people when they arrive at your door.
Yeah.
I guess understandably, if you went to someone's house and yeah, they offered you food, then if you wanted it, you'd merrily accept it.
Yeah. So like I just wondered like if that's a standard thing across our culture, Australian culture. If
you were just like what
what
your approach is?
My situation. No, like either situation. Which one is the approach?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we can put that poll out.
Yeah.
Like, would you? Yeah, if you had unexpected,
yeah,
if you had an unexpected visitor
around a mealtime,
along with someone you were expecting,
yeah, or just unexpected,
just a general.
If you had an unexpected
visitor.
guest, like around a mealtime, do you feel inclined to invite them in for food, even though you may not necessarily want them there?
I'm intrigued to find the answers.
Yeah,
because
these are big questions.
That's a good question. Oh, I will find out in. I mean, you'll find out in 2 weeks' time.
21 to 28 business days.
28 business days. And that first meeting with, and Gaffer's first meeting with the Black Rider. I can imagine that being a pretty odd conversation.
Yeah,
especially the idea that we already have of how Ringwraiths communicate.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
yeah.
or actually in the film, Shire Baggins, which is what Gollum, the information that Gollum gave them.
Oh, they were speaking.
They did speak that. And when they're chasing Arwen and they say, "Give up halfling shelf." Apart from that, they're the only. And at the end of Return of the King, they said, "No man can kill me." And
actually, yeah, that threw me off.
Yeah,
because when Old Mate started speaking, that was the first time I've heard, like in my mind that I registered he was speaking in the entire trilogy.
Right.
And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Well, I guess before then, Ringwraiths had only spoken twice. There's only 2 times I can remember. So Shire Baggins.
I wouldn't use the verb speak.
Yeah, that's fair. So Shire Baggins, give up halfling she-elf, and fool no man can kill me, die now.
Yeah, that's the thing. They just went like for 2 movies, Ringwraiths were just screeching and screaming. And then all of a sudden in the 3rd movie, they do the equivalent of reciting Shakespeare with that one line. Like that's the kind of shift that kind of threw me off. So the person that couldn't be killed by no man, I was like, is this a new character?
Well, I mean, it's the Witch King. It's the leader of the Ringwraiths.
Yeah, but
yeah, until now we had no idea how coherent they were in talking. I mean, a bit of the dialogue, because Frodo can only hear the Gaffer's responses to the questions.
Yep.
And the responses include, "No, Mr. Baggins has gone away. He went this morning. And my Sam went with him. Anyway, all his stuff went. Yes, sold out and gone. I tell ye. Why, it's none of my business, or yours. Where to? That ain't no secret. He's moved to Buckleberry or some such place away down yonder. Yes, it is a tidy way. So I'm trying to imagine the other side of that conversation. Like, is it still in that really eerie kind of like, where is Mr. Baggins? But then the gaffer's still just like, I don't know. He's gone. I don't know. He's gone.
Picture it as a nosy valley girl.
I'll give you the book.
Yeah.
All right. So bottom of the page on your right.
Okay. Oh, is Mr. Baggins here? Ooh, Mr. Baggins is going away. Went this morning. My Sam went with him. Away. All his stuff went. Oh, did it? All of it go? Yes, so I'm gone, I tell you. Why? Why? Why is none of my business all yours? Yeah. like a squeaky Valley Girl kind of voice, They went where they go? Buckleberry? Ooh.
It's just that's too big of a contrast. I can't imagine that. Oh, but thank you for that.
No, what wasn't made clear.
Oh my god, Buckleberry, where's that?
Yes.
Ooh, can you point the way to Buckleberry? But then, good old Gaffer, you still got the confidence. Like, you've got this really tall, dark, pretty I imagine, terrifying figure just questioning you. And he still ends up as like, no, I can't give no message. Good night to you. And then he's just gone. It's like,
Yeah, he's just like, no, I like my paycheck. Fuck you. Tell your shit.
Well, I mean, I think he legitimately thought that Frodo and Sam had already left that morning.
Oh, okay.
So,
so he's not actually being coy or anything or being incredibly smart by saying Buckleberry or whatever. He's just an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Buckleberry, I don't know, somewhere in Buckland.
Fuck if I know.
Yeah, he's ditched me. I had a good Baggins for a neighbour. Now I've got the Sackville Baggins, the bastard.
Yeah, okay.
So, no, I won't give you a message. I won't give them a message. Find them. I don't know. You want to talk to him? Find him.
On your bike.
Be my guest.
Toodle pip.
But they get pretty emotional moving out. I imagine they would. But like, how attached would you get to your past houses that you've lived in?
Growing up, I only lived in one house until I was 18.
18 years in the house.
18 years in the house.
And then you move out.
And I move out. And yes, I was kind of sad to, move out of that house. But at the same time, I was just like, me. Like, I've actually, over the years, I've almost mourned moving out of share houses more than moving out of my family home.
Really?
Yeah, just for like various elements. Just for like little things that just made my life more convenient one way or another. Like, I really appreciate the toilet in one of the share houses I lived in. Or like, I really like the shower in the second share house I lived in.
It's like, really gonna miss that shower.
Yeah, that thing, yeah.
So in the moment, like, the hobbits are just waving goodbye to the house as if they don't know if they'll ever see it again. But you would have that moment, it's like, bye, shower.
Yeah, I was just like Marie Kondo, like, thank you, goodbye. That kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Like, thank you for everything you've done for me. I'll have this moment to just really appreciate you for the past, I don't know, year, 2 years. And wouldn't even say until next time, because you don't know if you'll see it again. Yeah,
it's just like, goodbye. That's it, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really nice that I think they were able to, that Tolkien was able to depict just, I don't know, it felt relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess like the last sort of thing I'm trying to think of is whether the elves should tell Frodo more. I guess that's like the last kind of like question.
Should tell them. Well, that's the thing. They're not really giving him like in like enough information to have informed consent as to whether or not he's going to go do one thing or another.
Yeah, it's like from Frodo's perspective is like if these Black Riders are as dangerous as you're saying they are, then if Gandalf isn't rocking up, shouldn't I know a little bit more about them so I can maybe better prepare myself? Or
Yeah.
like, but then Gildor is just shouldn't the fact that I've just told you he's a servant of the enemy enough? Just avoid them. That's all you need to do. You don't need to know like what they're gonna do to you if they catch you, or it's like just avoid them at all costs. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
I think what I've told you is enough.
Yeah, well, I guess he's not wrong. That is enough information.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so it seems like Frodo's just I don't know, just has to know more, or
Well, I guess like
feels entitled to know more.
Well, from like Glinda's perspective, like he's probably looking at Frodo as like a child and going, "Yeah, you're like how you speak to a kid at work," and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And they're talking about something like fire or something.
Right. That's fire. Don't touch it though. It's gonna be really, really hot.
Why? And it just and in this cycle it keeps going and going on, which is probably like how Glinda's and what's his name?
Gildor.
Gildor. It's like how Gildor's feeling, like interacting with this child.
Yeah.
Who are this hooded folks? Don't interact with them. They're bad. But why? It's just like it keeps going and going and going. So yeah, I think in terms of like where they're at, I think that's enough information for Frodo to know what he's doing.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, we hope that Frodo does what he can to avoid trouble, but
Chapter 3, he can't die.
Well, I mean, we know he won't die, but I don't know. Will he get in trouble? Surely not.
He won't die. It's fine.
No, you won't die.
Otherwise, it's going to be a disappointing, couple of books after this. Actually, I got a message the other day.
Did you get a message?
I got a message from Emma Street.
Ah, Emma. How you doing at home, Emma? Or wherever you're listening?
So it was nice to get a message from her just saying that, she loved what we're doing, and, she listened to our first episode and thought, oh, this is really great.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it was really entertaining to listen to, lots of good things. So she and I had a good brief text message catch up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We got a message from Patricia. She said she's had a good laugh at our dynamic and I guess your take on audiobooks.
Yeah.
She thought that was really funny. So cheers for that, Patricia. We hope we're still keeping you laughing.
Also, shout out to Jono.
Oh, Jono?
Jono sent us a message. You two are fucking clowns. But I did enjoy the first episode. My take on Lord of the Flies is the equivalent of Hitler's take on world politics.
Well,
thanks, Jono.
I mean, he may have a point there. Let's take a look at our Instagram page.
Yeah. I
think that I've got to find another way to do polls because I think that only stays live for 24 hours.
Yes, it's only for 24 hours.
But yeah, Nick, you were outvoted 9-1.
Someone believes me. Someone shares my opinion.
Nick, I actually have access to who votes for what on these polls.
Yeah.
Nick, you were the sole voter. Lord of the Flies.
Okay, if you don't shoot your shot, you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe in you.
Yeah, it seems without any good reason, because take you out of this poll, 100% of the world's population doesn't agree with you. So that's 1 Lord of the Rings and Nick 0. I mean, not that it's a you versus Lord of the Rings thing, but you did say Lord of the Flies was more popular.
That's fair. On that note,
we'll wrap it up. Thank you all so much for joining in and still sticking around till this 4th episode. I'm Michael.
And I'm Nick.
And we are Fools of a Talk. Bye.
Bye.
What's that? This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints.
Oh,
I'm getting one.
a fool But an honest fool he remains.